Thank you, dear Marina. Dear colleagues, it's my pleasure to co-chair the 12th meeting of EU-Georgia Parliamentary Association Committee in Brussels. On behalf of Georgian delegation, let me express my gratitude to my dear colleague, to co-chair Marina and all the participants of today's meeting for their contributions to the work of EU-Georgia Association Committee. The association agreement with the European Union remains an important tool in the process of European integration and transformation of Georgia. Since 2014, Georgia has taken serious steps to achieve progress in bringing our country closer to the European Union. Progress achieved by Georgia on its European path is undeniable. Successful reforms transformed Georgia into an attractive destination in many ways and brought the country closer to European standards. The European Commission report published in February this year also acknowledged the significant progress achieved by Georgia in the process of European integration. As the EU membership is our long-standing constitutional goal, supported by more than 80% of Georgian citizens, Georgia aspires to seize every opportunity to move forward and take its place within the European family. Last year, Georgia submitted its application for EU membership together with Ukraine and Moldova. The European Council's decision to grant European perspective to Georgia is an important step towards implementation of our European dream. We committed ourselves to fulfill the 12 recommendations put forward by the European Union, and today we can affirm that most of them are already addressed. Nevertheless, last year's decision not to grant candidate status to Georgia like Ukraine and Moldova left space for uncertainty and speculations. This is neither necessary nor useful for securing our European future. Currently, we are living in a very complex geopolitical environment. European security continues to be challenged by Russian aggression, and it is clear that ensuring security and unity remains an important priority for the European Union. It is also obvious that guaranteeing European security requires that peace and stability be achieved and sustained in the EU's neighborhood. Russia's unjustified war of aggression in Ukraine created additional vulnerabilities in our region. We have to remember that 20% of Georgia's territory remains occupied by Russia, and we still face illegal Russian military presence in 2 Georgian regions. This is a reality that places Georgia in a unique situation in Europe. There is no other state without being protected by a collective security and economic solidarity umbrella facing occupation and illegal military presence of neighboring states on its territory. Besides that fragile and vulnerable security environment, Georgia expresses solidarity and unwavering support for the Ukrainian people who are fighting for sovereignty, independence, and territorial integrity of their country. We do our best to demonstrate support for collective actions and efforts in support of Ukraine and strictly follow implementation of our own policy of ensuring that circumvention of EU sanctions does not happen through Georgia. Dear colleagues, today we will have the possibility to discuss all the issues related to the EU-Georgia cooperation and integration agenda. I expect to have fruitful and frank discussions on each and every topic of today's agenda. But before we start, I would like to briefly touch upon a couple of important issues. It is difficult to ignore 3 resolutions adopted by the European Parliament last year, which obviously played a negative role in EU-Georgia relations and contributed to creation of misleading perceptions about Georgia. We have never shied away from discussions of any pressing issue with the members of European Parliament and spared no efforts to have direct communication and respond to any concerns and provide clarifications where needed. Nevertheless, documents adopted last year by the European Parliament contained very serious inaccuracies that helped only those who are interested in creating a gap between the European Union and Georgia. This is not a goal we wish to achieve. I believe that we can make history together by standing together, trusting, respecting and helping each other at this critical moment. Throughout the years, Georgia has proved to be a reliable partner for the European Union. Georgia's efforts to contribute to global peace and security side by side with our strategic partners should not be forgotten. Heroic Georgian soldiers stood with NATO forces in Afghanistan until the very end of the operation, served in EU missions, Central Africa and Mali, following political decisions of the government of Georgia. And at the same time, we have always been grateful for efforts made by the European Union monitoring mission in Georgia. We see the EU as the only security guarantee in place since 2008. The sincere commitment of Georgian government to the process of European integration has translated into the reformed institutions, progress in every field of social life, and increased standards for protecting human rights and ensuring the rule of law. These are not empty words. They are proven by assessments conducted by independent international organizations and need to be commended and not neglected. Simultaneously, we also realize the length of the road towards the EU membership. We also know that much remains to be done by government and society as well. But we cannot achieve anything alone without trust-based partnership and cooperation with the EU and its institutions, including the European Parliament. We need you as friends, contributing to a positive dynamics in the process of Georgia's European integration and realizing how pressing the momentum is today and how important it is to create irreversible ground for Georgia's integration into the European Union today. Georgia has the potential to open new geopolitical opportunities and contribute to broader European security and prosperity as well. We expect that the EU will take a decisive step this year based on fair assessments and grant candidate status and encourage Georgia to move forward on its European path together with other candidate countries. I hope the European Parliament will contribute to this decision and our committee work today will lay ground for this positive dynamic. Thank you.
Thank you, Maka, for your statement. And with that, I would like to